Sometime between now and mid-November, Labour will call an election and the country will head to the polls. In the red corner will be Helen Clark, the incumbent, gunning for a fourth term. In the blue corner, John Key, leader of the National Party, way ahead in the polls. Everyone eligible to vote must, at the very least, enrol. But in Auckland Central, more than any other electorate in the country, they are thoroughly dragging their feet. Tony Reid went to find out why.
Excuse me, are you enrolled to vote? Take you 1 minute just to finish it. How long have you lived here?
Election year 2008, and the campaigning to get you enrolled is well underway.
Excuse me guys, you enrolled to vote?
The focus is on Auckland Central, which lags 17% behind the national average.
Excuse me, you guys enrolled to vote? Yes, you are? Yeah. Thank you. You need to fill in a form so I can just check it? Take you 1 minute.
But each minute that passes is one closer to election day.
The biggest problem is the younger people, but it's not so much the students. We have people who work at the university and AUT to enrol them all the time, so it's normally the young professionals.
Just wondering if you're enrolled to vote. A bit of a hurry, eh?
We get a lot of, I'm really busy, I'm going to work, I'm really busy, I'm having lunch, I don't have the time, I've got a form at home, I'll do it when I'm ready, that kind of thing. That seems to be the feedback we get from our field workers.
Enrolling to vote is not an option, it's compulsory, but in modern Auckland there are physical barriers to tracking people down. Everywhere you look, apartment block after apartment block, walled off and impenetrable, meaning hundreds of voters are slipping through the cracks.
At number 2, the docks, there's 72 apartments and there's 9 people enrolled. So say there's 2 people in each apartment, that's 140 odd people and 9 people are enrolled. There's an example of Auckland Central for us.
There are no such barriers on Queen Street, however, the perfect place for a pop quiz. Question 1, are you enrolled to vote?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we are. So you are? Oh, yeah.
No, I don't actually think I am.
Yes, I am.
So far so good. Question 2.
Do you know who your local MP is?
No idea, sorry.
I wouldn't have a clue. Starts with J, ends in T.
No clue, sorry, mate. Justin Timberlake?
Judith Tizard.
Just kidding.
Judith Tizard later.
Oh, yeah, Judith Tizard, yeah.
You didn't really know that though, did you?
But I've heard of her.
It's been the job of Labour's Judith Tizard to represent the people of Auckland Central for 12 years. It's a tiring business, and yet not a single Auckland Central voter we talked to could name her. So whose fault is that, theirs or hers?
Obviously it is an MP's role to have a high profile in their electorate and to stay connected. But you've got to remember that Auckland Central is a large population of young people who are in the area to rent because they're studying or because they're professionals. So they're not necessarily connected to that particular electorate. So often it is because of their age and profession rather than the politician.
Unlike New Zealand, Australia has a compulsory voting system. It was introduced in 1924 when voter turnout was as low as 47%. Voter turnout here has always been high, 81% at the 2005 election. Meg Bates says the New Zealand system works well.
There is the argument that it's a valid political action to not vote, so you wouldn't necessarily want to remove that option from people. And also you might not want people who don't know anything about politics and don't care about politics to be forced to vote.
And she's right, because some people just aren't that interested.
Do you know who the Prime Minister is?
Helen Clark.
Leader of the opposition? Leader of the Greens?
It's 2 people. There's some guy called Russell and some other lady, yeah.
Do you think you'll vote at the election?
No.
People who don't vote for the first time are much less likely to ever vote again. So unless we get them in a school age, really, and socialise them into thinking that democracy is important, to thinking that being a citizen and voting is important, then that's something which won't necessarily come later in life.
Oops, we're full on that board.
And so the mad dash continues to get Auckland Central off the bottom of the ladder and interested in national affairs.